Hello and welcome back to Your Questions Answered with Father Gruner. We take your questions, Father Gruner answers them, we have discussions about them. Please continue to email us your questions. Here's the email address, questions@thefatimacenter.com. We had been talking about the third secret, the fact that the Vatican released part of the secret on June 26th. And we're talking about the fact that we're given a vision, but we're not given the explanation. And the idea is that the other part of the secret actually is the explanation of what we've seen. Now, why do we say that?
Well, first of all, I mean, I remember reading in Chris's book, but surely God didn't leave us to have this vision and wait for, of all people, Cardinal Sodano to explain it to us. Cardinal Sodano is not really that reliable to explain anything.
He's a Secretary of State, and he was very much a part of this new orientation. Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, we know that in the message of Fatima, Our Lady gives them a vision of hell, but yet she tells them, besides showing it to them, and they knew what it was.
Yes.
They said, "You have just seen hell, where the souls of poor sinners go." So in case it's not, I mean, Our Lady being a good teacher, she certainly gives them teaching, but she explains even what doesn't need explaining. But in this vision, she also, when they saw the vision of Our Lady's Immaculate Heart circled with thorns, Our Lady explains it to them. And time and again we have Our Lady explaining. So
she showed the heart, but also she would say, she would explain.
Obviously, the thorns pierced the heart of Our Lady. These thorns are commanding reparation. Our Lady again explains it in December 10th, 1925. Behold the heart of my heart circled with thorns, which ungrateful men put there. She explains this, but in this thing, there's no explanation. And this needs more explanation than any of the other visions. There are at least 8 or 15 interpretations of this. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have, quote unquote, the non-official one that doesn't bind anybody, which doesn't make sense. The Pope is killed, but he's not killed. The Pope, falls dead, but whereas Sodano called it, apparently dead. But it doesn't say anywhere in this vision or description, apparently. No, it's the Pope falls dead. So Sodano even had trouble with it because he had to add a word.
He falsified it ahead of time.
Yes. So
he falsified it ahead of time.
So obviously that one doesn't work, but there's all other sorts of explanations for it too. But they all don't fit. On the one side, you have the saying, you have to take in the symbolic key. But then why should we take your symbolic key instead of my symbolic key? Secondly, then he goes on to taking some things literally when it's in the symbolic key. So it doesn't work. We need an explanation. There's no way around it. And we know from the history of the Fatima apparitions, she explains everything. So he explains their vision. So why doesn't she explain this one? Because they're hiding it from us. Then we have the words quoting Our Lady, "In Portugal the dogma of faith will always be preserved," etc. That's Lucy saying that, writing down, Our Lady said this, and she had more to say, but we are not telling you what they are.
The rest of the words.
The rest of the words there.
Yeah.
But she said, Our Lady said, but this was regarding the third secret. Any scholar in Fatima knows.
And I'll just clarify too for the listener that in the what was released by the Vatican on June 26, 2000, there were no words of Our Lady. It was Sister Lucy explaining what she saw.
And describing what she saw.
Describing what she saw, yes.
Yes.
So we still don't have the words of the secret.
No, we don't have the words. She describes that the angel says, penance, penance, penance. That's the only words that are spoken in this vision. Whereas we have Our Lady's there, but she does say, "In Portugal, dogma of faith will always be preserved," etc., but we don't have the rest of the sentence. And they try to make that out as if it's an annotation of Lucy. It's no annotation of Lucy. It's Lucy reporting directly what Our Lady said, except not completing the sentence because she wanted to keep that secret still because she felt under obligation to keep it secret, and because that's in the third. That's actually in the fourth and the third memoir. But when she wrote down the secret, she wrote down all of these words. And we have another, I mean, again, it's all explained in the books, Devil's Final Battle. It's explained in Secret Still Hidden. It's explained on the video, which we have, the documentary we made in video, which you can see on the screen. It's, Fatima Secret Still Silenced, which they can go to watch on our website. They just have to click over how to find it. And so that's, so we know it didn't give us the whole thing. And then we have the words of Pope Benedict himself saying, there's more to it. And it's in the future, and it's terrifying.
And we have, we piece it together because we have Cardinal Chappie talking about the great apostasy of the church beginning at the top. And we have...
we have Cardinal Ratzinger in 1984 saying it concerns the dangers to the faith
Yes.
and the life of the Christian, and therefore to the life of the world.
And we have Sister Lucy in her 1957 interview talking about that the devil is going to lead the shepherd, the priest and the religious.
Attack the priests especially.
Yeah, and so there'll be... And then after 1960, you have Sister Lucy talking about a diabolic disorientation of the hierarchy.
And she talks
something she never said prior to
Yeah.
that terminology she never used prior to 1960.
Yeah, and she's talked about it again and again. She's even talking about 1970, the diabolical. And you have someone like the scholar like Father Alonso saying that it's most likely talks about the grave deficiency of the upper hierarchy, talks about the the battles within the church regarding it. So and I think he also says that when the secret's released, that it will bring to a halt, an immediate halt, the progressive disaster going on in the church.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't use those. I think he's used progressive.
You're paraphrasing, yes.
Yeah. But that's so, and it'll come to a screeching halt. And this is really that's why the secret needs to be released. And of course, the problem is that we have too many progressives, as they call them, or modernists, or whatever, what the term is, inside the Vatican. That's why they don't release it.
So as we said in the previous programs, we have to pray for this to be released. Our Lady wants us to know it, otherwise she wouldn't have told us. Yeah. She wouldn't have said release it in 1960.
Well, we have even the words of John Paul II saying that can the mother, who with all the force of the love that she fosters in the Holy Spirit and desires everyone's salvation, can she remain silent when she sees the very basis of her children's salvation in her mind? And he answers his own question by saying, no, she can't remain silent. But he doesn't tell us the basis of our salvation, but it's our faith, and it's the clergy, and they're being undermined. And she wants us to know that. She wants to yell to us and say, watch out, be careful, because you're going to lose your soul if you don't pay attention. She's telling us what to watch for. That's why we need to know it. And that's because nowhere in the secret in the rest of the message does she tell us about our salvation being undermined, our salvation being undermined, and the basis of our salvation being undermined.
So the secret is not just a peripheral thing. It's very important. This is the only Fatima apostolate that insists on the need to release the third secret and the fact that it has not been fully released. It's the only worldwide Fatima apostolate that still insists and works towards this release. So that's all for today, and we'll pick it up again tomorrow.